What's up everyone, my name is Kulagetcho and welcome to a different type of video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Superman movie that came out like a month ago. I know I'm late to the party, but just I recently went and see it. I went and see it the same day as Fantastic Four. Maybe it was a plan of mine, maybe it wasn't. I'll never tell you if that was the real plan. But I recently went and saw it, and you probably just came in this video to find out if the movie was good or not. I'm just going to give you the short answer. The movie was great. The movie was amazing. But if you want to hear the long answer, you just want to hear me yap for the next 20 minutes, then go ahead because I love movies and I love superheroes. So I'm just gonna pretty much yap about everything I like about the movie and everything else that I just personally found the movie didn't have, or like anything else that the movie didn't I didn't really like about the movie. So to really start off the movie, we there's gonna be spoilers in this. Okay, I forgot to say that. If you're gonna hear me yap for the next 20 minutes and you haven't seen the movie as yet, there is spoiler warning. There is gonna be spoilers. I'm just gonna be talking about the movie pretty much. So there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie as yet, which you should, it's a really good movie. But if you haven't seen it as yet, you should definitely click off the video and go watch a movie and then come back here and hear me yap if you want to do that. It's totally up to you. I'm not gonna force you. But I'm just here gonna talk about my personal opinions. By the way, this is just my, as I said before, just my personal opinions on the movie. You could have your own opinions. You don't have to like the movie too. You don't have to agree to everything I say. That's just personally what I think of the movie and like what I disliked and liked. Mostly of all the things I liked about the movie, and then at the end I'll just talk about like the few things I didn't really like about the movie, and I'll just give my rating and all of that. So what I would say I really like is the characterization of every character in this movie. Every character in this movie had a spotlight or just impacted the movie in some way, whether it be a comedic way or um, just in general. Whether it be Superman, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, the total, the different idea of Superman, kind of like what the comic books had Superman as a idolation of hope and just overall like super, you know what I mean? That is a horrible joke, but it wasn't even meant to be a joke. But like it had Superman more like Superman. He's idolation of hope and stuff like that. Things you would want to see in a Superman movie. Things that characterize Superman. We saw a lot more in that movie. So I really like how Superman was written in the movie, though. What I didn't like about Superman as a character, though, is that he got his ass whooped a little too much. Like, don't get me wrong. Superman was really strong. They showed him really strong with his powers and all that. But he just got like every scene he was getting his ass whooped, and it's like, yeah, I get what James Gunn was trying to do there. I understand that he was trying to more show Superman as the idolation of hope and the start of a DC universe. It's gonna be difficult to tackle everything, and this movie had a lot to begin with, and it's not gonna be easy to tackle everything and explain everything. So I totally understand that, but just it felt like Superman, he just needed backup like every single fight. He wasn't shown as weak or anything. He was shown, honestly, to me personally, the villains he fought with Lex Luthor and Ultraman, that is a pretty intense team up. So it does explain the fight and all of that, but I just personally think that Superman didn't have to get his butt whooped as much as he did in the movie. Like, I think there might have been some other way for it to show that Superman is still the idolation of hope without getting his butt whooped like 24/7. Not 24/7, but without getting his butt whooped as much. The movie even starts off with him getting his butt whooped because I think there was fighting Lex Luthor with Ultraman. I think it was the hammer of some, I forgot what the city was named. the city, the country? The country was named? So yeah, overall liked what they did with Superman in the idolation of hope and all that. I really like it because Superman is a character, when you think of him, you think about hope and to achieve, right? And they really aced that with this movie. I think they really got that idea of Superman down, and I really like how the actor who plays Superman acted Superman. He truly gets the idea of that, and pretty much shows that as well to the audience. If you watch the movie, you would see it. Like, the actor really does do a really good job as Superman. I can't wait to see him as Superman in more of the James Gunn DCU productions, because he does a really good, fantastic job at it. And also, again, with all the other characters, I think the other characters were really well done as well. We had Guy, Green Lantern. We also had Hawkgirl. Mr. Terrific was amazing. I've never seen Mr. Terrific or have heard of him before the movie, but that movie made me want to like learn more about Mr. Terrific. So I really liked what they did with Mr. Terrific. He had an entire well done. I will say though that this movie had a lot of things. They had the Justice Gang, and they had Superman. There was a lot of things that I feel like they collide so quickly with one another that it was pretty much impossible to cover everything. But I think James Gunn did a really good job covering as much as he did with everything with everything, because we had like the Justice Gang, right? And the Justice Gang is Guy, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and then Mr. Terrific, which I think all of them were really great, fantastic characters, to be honest with you. Guy pretty much steals. Guy doesn't have. They don't have that much scenes, to be honest with you. But the scenes that Guy is in, he generally steals the show. He's very funny. The actor does a really good job on that. So I think all the characters really were well done. Superman was well done. Lois Lane was well done. Jimmy was just everything, to be honest with you. There's the scene where Lois has to go and save Superman. So she goes and goes by the Justice Gang, right? And the Justice Gang doesn't really want to help her, except Mr. Terrific. And Mr. Terrific is amazing. Honestly, this movie made me really like that character because I've never seen Mr. Terrific in my life. And that character, just seeing him in the movie, Mr. Terrific was awesome. And honestly, just seeing him in the movie was amazing. And I just really like that character. And I would really want to see more of that character and Justice Gang, just because seeing them in the movie. They chose Guy for Green Lantern, which I thought was very interesting. They didn't choose Hal Jordan. But it fit so perfectly because every scene Guy is in, he steals the show pretty much. His comedy, he's like the comedic relief in the movie, and he completely steals the show. And then there was Hawkgirl. There's not much to say about Hawkgirl, but I really did still like her. She had her scenes. She even kills one of the big bads, which is one of the government leaders. She even kills him in the end, which is kind of funny because he was like, "Oh, you're not gonna kill me because you're gonna be like Superman. He's the he doesn't kill," and she was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna drop you." So yeah, she does kill him. So overall, all the characters was really good. Even characters like minor characters, like for instance, minor characters. What is the minor character? So yeah. Now we're gonna talk about like the characters that you really want to know about, like Superman and Lex Luthor. I think villains, like playing villains, is difficult. Like I think that doesn't get enough recognition, right? Playing a supervillain is like maybe a little more difficult than playing a superhero, especially playing Lex Luthor. And I think Nicholas Hoult really does a really good job playing Lex Luthor. Lex is literally the definition of pure jealousy and pure evil, because throughout the film we could see how evil he is and how destructive he is with that evil, whether it be with Ultraman. Yeah, Ultraman's in this movie, or the Nine-Eyed Girl, I forgot her name. But you truly see how evil he is, and honestly, I didn't expect them to go all out with Lex and showing how evil a supervillain can be. But I really, really liked what direction it went. There was even the scene where Superman, right? There was multiple scenes with Lex, and I think one of the two evil most scenes I have of Lex is when he went in and pretty much went in the Superman ice layer and pretty much knocked out every robot. Well, Ultraman and the Nine-Eyed Girl did. And he just steals everything from Superman, the message that Superman parents give him, the message that Superman listens to constantly. But the message got interrupted from coming down from Krypton to Earth. So it was half of the message was missing, and the beginning message part was just saying, oh, how Superman parents love him and all of that. But Lex went and then used the Nine-Eyed Girl, and she pretty much infiltrated and decoded the rest of the message. And Lex literally just puts it out there. He literally puts it out there, and pretty much it was saying Superman parents was saying that Superman should just come on Earth. The rest of the message, the beginning part of the message was Superman was indeed there, even in the Lex Luthor one. But this is the funniest part. And I thought that this was really funny, that Superman's parents then continues and tells him, guess what, Clark? You're going down there and you're going to impregnate as much women as you can and bring them back to Krypton. I can't even say serious while saying that. And that was pretty much the message, that part of the message that Clark didn't see. And also, it was true. It wasn't like it was fake. It wasn't made up by Lex or anything. That was generally, literally the truth. And everybody got scared of Superman. Nobody trusted him, and all of that. And I really, really think that scene really shows Lex really well. But the next scene as well is when Superman pretty much goes back to save Krypto, because when they went in the cave, they kidnapped Krypto. So Superman went to try to save Krypto. But when he went, the only way he could save Krypto is by handing himself in. So he did end up handing himself in to everybody, and the government thinks he's just coming there to like rule the world and all of that. So when he goes into like these what's it called? Pocket universes. So Lex made all these pocket universes, which I think that really shows Lex Luthor's intelligence, because Lex is such an intelligent character, and that really does show him like how smart Lex Luthor is to make pocket dimensions. Mr. Terrific even says if they like the littlest thing messes up that pocket dimension, it's gonna cause a giant black hole, which does happen in the movie. But so pretty much when he goes back, we meet Absorbing Man, which is a new character, and he just joined the Justice Gang. And there's no more kryptonite on this earth, but Absorbing Man could make kryptonite, which is kind of interesting and gonna be even more interesting in the future movies, because if kryptonite is not more on Earth, are they gonna find more kryptonite, or is Absorbing Man the only one who's gonna be able to produce kryptonite? Is he gonna get kidnapped again? Most likely, some villain's gonna kidnap him. So pretty much, they pretty much have Superman and Absorbing Man in the same case, because he's got the kryptonite. He's got the kryptonite in his hand, and he's pretty much, Superman can't do nothing. It's literally kryptonite. What's Superman gonna do? And then Lex Luthor brings in people. So he brings in the government leader, and then he brings in this random guy that Superman doesn't even barely even talk to like once or twice, and the guy's nice to Superman. And I think this scene right here, what I'm about to say, generally shows how mature superhero movies should be and how evil Lex Luthor is. And Lex Luthor tried to do a Russian roulette system, and pretty much, well, he didn't expect it to shoot, but it kills the guy, which was just crazy. I didn't expect that. But that was generally peak Lex, I think. And I really like that. And honestly, Nicholas Hoult does a really good job of displaying Lex Luthor. And I really didn't expect it, but damn, that was actually really good for the movie, because it really shows how evil Lex is. So pretty much then, but Absorbing Man pretty much makes the same chemicals as the sun, because, the sun is how Superman gets powers, helps Superman out. Superman goes, saves his son, and yeah, they get Krypto back and all of that. One thing I will say though, they did a really good job on Krypto. I think they capture a super dog with, like, just being a dog. Krypto is, of course, well, a super dog. You will know that. But you also see him being like a normal dog, which makes sense, because he's still a dog. Because he chases down the orb things that Mr. Terrific has. I forgot what they were called. He said they were spheres, actually. And Krypto just chases them out, because again, he's a dog. What do you want him to do? So I think they made Krypto really cute. I think everyone knew they were going to make Krypto really cute. But everything about Krypto they did really good with. Lois Lane is also good with, and I think everything else really good. I really like how Nicholas Hoult plays Lex Luthor though, because generally he captures how evil and mechanical Lex Luthor can be when it comes down in the situation. Like, Lex was going all out. Like, generally he is one of the biggest haters I've ever seen. Generally, I really like how James Gunn did the characterization on the characters, because it really shows them, and it really outdoes and showcases the characters. I also really like how this movie, I think everybody's been talking about this, how this movie captures Superman as, the idol of hope and everything. It does capture Superman a lot. It captures what makes Superman Superman. And I really think that's amazing. And if you won't understand it unless you watch the movie. I guess not a lot of you will probably watch the movie, because you wouldn't come here and hear spoilers if you weren't watching the movie. So it really is amazing to see Superman being shown as Superman. There was just one scene where he saves, because the black hole did come out and it was destroying this Metropolis, and the scene where he literally gets the building off of her so she could drive off. And that scene was just crazy because he comes out and he's just like, I'm Superman, guys. So that scene really, you really feel the aura of that scene. I think that really shows difference from the 2013 Man of Steel movie, because you still see how amazing Superman is and how good of a person he is while still gaining aura. So I think that he really does good there. Superman even saves a squirrel, which is just Superman. It just is Superman. You can't get better than that. That is just Superman saving a squirrel. You can never get better than that. Now I'll just go to the things I disliked about the movie, which it's just minor things. I think how this movie had so much like characters and how it had to keep up with the plot and all that. You just didn't get to see much of certain characters, and the Justice Gang is one of them. I love the Justice Gang. I think James Gunn did a really good job showcasing them. You just wish you got to see more of them, which I believe we will do. We will see more of them in the future movies, but I really wish we got to see more of them in the movies. Like, we got a good amount of Mr. Terrific, but I would love to see more of him. So yeah, overall, that is one of it. I also think we should have seen more Clark Kent. As much we see a lot of Superman, but we don't see much of Clark Kent. We only see Clark Kent like in the beginning when he was having a discussion with Lois, and then we also see him in his like the family scene. But those scenes don't last that long, so we rarely ever get to see Clark Kent. Which I understand the movie was trying to get, Superman is a Superman movie, but it would have been nice to see more Clark Kent into the mix more than just Superman. I think I talked about this one already, but I just don't like how Superman was getting bruised up a lot. He wasn't shown as weak. Superman was definitely shown not weak, but he definitely got like butt whooped a lot more than I thought Superman should be getting. But overall, it does make sense. His villains were Ultraman and Ultraman with Lex. Like that was a crazy duo. Ultraman was like B16, 719. Cars was Lex literally figured out everything. And I think that again shows really good characterization because that is Lex Luthor. He hates Superman so much he loves to just learn about Superman. That is a hate-love relationship. So overall, yeah, I think they really did good on characterization. I would really just like to see more of the characters like Clark Kent, the Justice Gang. I don't really think there's anything else to not like about the movie. The movie overall is really good. Other than that, we also get to see Supergirl in the ending of the movie. This is not like a bad thing, by the way. This is just stating Supergirl in the end movie. That makes sense because the Supergirl movie is coming out next year, I believe. So I'm really excited to see that movie as well. Because taking this Superman movie was really well done. I can't wait to see what they'll do with Supergirl, and I can't wait to see what they do with other characters in the DC universe. Because we already saw a few of them. We saw Green Lantern, Hawkgirl. So it'll be really interesting to see what else James Gunn has planned and what else is he gonna do moving forward? Because this movie was amazing. Anything else to say? Overall, the movie was really good. I rated 9.5 out of 10. You could have your personal ratings as well, right? Because you just watched this to hear me rant. But you could have your personal ratings. I really do think the movie was really good, and I can't wait to see what else. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want a ranking on Fantastic Four for the first steps, I will gladly do that. I saw that movie as well, so I really like to do that review as well. Other than that, I don't really think I have anything else to talk about. The Superman movie was really good. If you haven't seen it and you for some reason watch me spoil it for you, if you haven't seen it and you somehow watch me spoil it for you, then you should definitely go take a look at it. It's really good. And I really have nothing else. I might do Fantastic Four if you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.